Meanwhile, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, is providing support to the initiative to develop the coffee industry. Michael Dalton, technical specialist at the local office, gave the assurance that the agency will continue to work with the Ministry of Agriculture to develop livelihoods and opportunities throughout the country. The OECS Commission is working with member countries to strengthen the recently endorsed National Agricultural Health and Food Safety Councils, the NAFHSC, which will enhance their ability to implement sanitary and phytosanitary measures to better safeguard citizens, animals and plants from diseases, pests or contaminants across the OECS. Director General of the OECS, Dr. Didicus Jules, said the NHFSC, as a coordinating mechanism, would improve the efficiency of agriculture, health and food safety services at the national and regional levels for the direct benefit of every OECS citizen. Agricultural leaders in the OECS convened for today's meeting in St. Lucia in November to discuss viable options toward enhancing intra-regional trade of agricultural commodities in the OECS. Minister of Agriculture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Saboto Caesar, discussed the OECS Agriculture Shipping Initiative as a means to alleviate the over $500 billion food import bill in the OECS. The Agriculture Minister also stressed the need to be creative in crop selection as an effort to delve into new markets. Honorable Caesar called on all agricultural ministers and the senior officials present to take action and identify a point person in each of their ministries to spearhead the initiative and create on-island working groups. The end of 2016 was proposed as a deadline for member states to submit a list of commodities that they would like to see or ideally like to produce.
At the first reaping, when we checked the price of whatever squash in the supermarkets, it was about $6 to $8 per pound. And these squash were a year old. You know what old squash looks like when you cut it inside, how dry the seeds are. It's something, but the squash has a very long shelf life. We were importing and retailing butternut squash for between $6 to $8 per pound. The locals were able to produce and make a profit from squash and sell it at $2 to $3 per pound. How do things here? What happened is that when we put our butternut squash on the market, we had to close the squash at the windrush because we could not even supply the local demand for butternut squash. Palace talking about exporting butternut squash to the UK by the containers. Today, we are underproducing butternut squash, and it's only certain times of the year that we are self-sufficient. But we have moved the country from almost zero production to self-sufficiency.
Director General of the OECS, Dr. Didicus Jules, said that efforts have already begun to develop a sustainable relationship between farmers and hotels. This week, students and teachers of the J.P. Eustace Memorial Secondary School will be showcasing their talents to the public. Andrew Da Silva, a teacher at the J.P. Eustace Memorial Secondary, said the school is committed to assisting the students in harnessing their talents. He stated that they are hosting this concert to help to showcase the talent within their school body and to build their students' confidence. The concert took place today at the Rousseau Auditorium in Stony Ground. Some local taxi operators based in Kingstown have been complaining that business for them is slow despite the Christmas season is approaching a high point. NBC News reported that the taxi drivers feel they should be getting more business from international cruise liners at the cruise ship terminal in Kingstown. Another sentiment expressed was some taxi operators said they feel that there is favoritism in the tourism sector and they claim that it is not getting any better. The state-owned media house quoted Winston Lewis, taxi operator, who said that oftentimes they do not receive returns from $80 license fee, which is paid to the SPG Tourism Authority during the cruise ship season. Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism and Culture Cecil Mackey called in on NBC News and said that it is mandatory for taxi operators throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines to become certified in order for there to be proper management of services. Minister Mackey further stated that there is a system that the taxi operators must be guided by in order to receive adequate service. The tourism minister said that there is no guarantee that they will be able to access direct business from the cruise ship's dock. He added that the persons who do not go through the process, they basically will not be allowed to operate within the space of the Port Authority, where the cruise liners come. This country's Minister of Tourism, Cecil Mackey, says that he is encouraged by the figures for 2015, which show that this country registered a 1% increase in tourist arrivals. He further stated that the figures for the first 8 months of the year were also positive, as they show that there was an overall 5.7% increase. According to Mackey, the increase by air up to August is 6.3% and sea 5.4%. And with the Vessel Britannia, which made its first port call to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, carrying over 4,000 passengers and 1,000 crew 2 weeks ago, Mackey said the overall figures for 2016 already looked promising, particularly with Britannia expected to make 9 calls this season. On December 14, 2004, the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America People's Trade Treaty, ALBA-TCP, was founded. On that day, the agreement between Venezuela and Cuba, the founding members of the alliance, was signed during an event held in Havana to celebrate a meeting that took place 10 years earlier in 1994. The commanders Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez had for the first time. The Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America People's Trade Treaty, ALBA-TCP, is an integration platform for the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean. The countries that are currently comprised ALBA-TCP are Venezuela, Cuba, Bolivia, Nicaragua, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, Ecuador, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in some sad news, Miss Pompey, who resided in Trinidad for a number of years, returned to St. Vincent and the Grenadines 5 to 6 years ago. Gloria Pompey was discovered motionless by her relatives just 24 hours after they had visited her home. The police said that the cause of death is not yet clear and investigations are continuing. A postmortem was carried out today on an elderly woman who was found dead in her Chumuka home on Monday afternoon. Stay with us, the sporting highlights are up next.